Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a discount? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending more songs through the phone, dreaming of a better home, we more focused on hone. This craft, witchcraft. I hope the Bluez let this last. I don't know if the earth is painted.
That was Great Sounds of Watts Without Sight on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, E.Z. Bluez. Is in the building. Easy Bluez, you are better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today again on Behind the Brand?
It was one of the greatest philosophers of all time that said, "Oh yeah, the cream rises to the top." And there are certain aspects of everything that is just a little bit where you can sit there and you can have the best caramel macchiato you've ever had in your entire life. And you can go and you can find the best seeds. There are literally seeds of a coffee plant that gets ingested by a jaguar and pooped out, and it apparently is the best coffee ever, literally charges you $799 per pound. It is incredible. And for that, there's also a certain kind of beef that is the best cut of beef you can find. It is the beef that fully can enrich your soul. And we will sit here and we will enjoy this Kobéy beef because we are here with the amazing entrepreneur, someone who's now jumping into the realm of talk and teasing that we call podcasting. I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving. Please keep your hands attended too, because we do not need any car accidents. But if you're not driving, put your hands together for the amazing, the incredible, the entrepreneur, the podcaster, the brother from another mother at this point in time. This is the second time back on the show. The amazing Kobéy. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. Thank you for inviting me back. I was, as soon as you all reached out, I said, I got to be here for these guys. So I definitely respect what you all do, and I'm happy to be back.
Appreciate you, man. I really do. Let's just get into it. Why did you want to do the podcasting thing? Besides with your great personality.
Why would you do that to yourself? It's torturous.
The $1 billion question. No, yeah. Honestly, I've just always been a fan of podcasting. I mean, I'm a fan of you all, what you're doing, interviewing people within the community who are entrepreneurs, that are successful and making way for themselves. I know Kevin Durant, I'm a huge Kevin Durant fan, the basketball player, for those who don't know who that is. But I like his podcast, the Et Ceteras. I know his business partner, Rich Kleinman, has a podcast called the Out of Office podcast. And they just talk about business and entrepreneurship. And, I really got inspired from them. I've always just been a talker my whole life, especially with topics I'm passionate about. I have a lot of interesting friends who I think need some exposure and need the world to see how great they are. And also, I was just tired of, watching Drink Champs, like Nori is, if Noriega ever sees this, I'm sorry, but Nori is the worst interviewer ever.
The worst?
He's one of the worst.
One of the worst.
He's one of the worst. Yeah, Nori's horrible. Nori is trash at interviewing. So
how so? I think he's all right. I think it's pretty good for what he does.
Man.
He does.
Well, he always interrupts the guest.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like that's really a part of it. Like, there's one episode, I forgot who he was interviewing. I think it was Nas, and Nas barely got a word in.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. For Nori as an interviewer is a heck of an MC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just the way things go. I totally get what you're saying, and he does look at it, and this is his show, and he's going to be the highlight of it. But really, when you're doing stuff like this, it's about really highlighting the guest and their stories. So what is going to be the formula behind this new adventure of podcasting, which you were going through? And do we have a name? Have we titled it? You got some marketing merch already out there? What's the deal? Let us know.
No, absolutely. So the podcast is actually called Chatting with Kobéy. No G in chatting. Right now it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And it's a breakdown of 3 topics. It's going to be entrepreneurship, overcoming adversity, and also mental health awareness. And, I've I've had 4 episodes up so far. 2 were guests, 2 people that I know that were friends of mine in college, and they just talk about their experience. And I think it's just a good way to highlight people who I know who have a unique story to tell. The 2 guests that I've had so far, they're very interesting people, and I learned more about them in that 30-minute interview than I knew about them in the past 4 years because they were so open and honest with themselves. And I think it's just a great way for me to highlight, just not just my friends, but people who I meet who are like successful that are looking to branch off in other things. So I definitely have a friend of mine who works at UNH. I'm going to release that episode soon. I interviewed one of my friends who works in the Waterbury school system, who also dances and also acts as well. So he's very talented. And I have some other people lined up that I want to interview. And so I think it's just going to be a great way to see that there's different layers to Kobéy and the people that he surrounds himself with, because life is really just an experience. And my friend group is really, they give me a bunch of experiences that I'm inspired by. And as for the merchandise, we're working on that. It's going to come soon, but right now it's really just me, making sure I'm getting the right people on recording, editing, and then maybe video in the next few years. So we'll see where that goes.
I like that. I like that a lot. I really do. You learn so much just from interviewing. And I think it's one of the best parts is I think you're in the best driving seat because you get to sit back and you get to learn just what people have, because like people can reveal a lot about themselves, as you know, because you did like 4 episodes and just growing with different people. And I think the friendship and the bond can get a lot stronger too when you're a good interviewer. And
Absolutely.
I think you did great. Absolutely. Easy. I see the flip. I see your face light red. I know you want to say something.
Okay, hold on. So you have 4 episodes that are out right now on the Spotify, on the Apples, on all those wonderful things, right?
Yeah.
And only 2 of them have guests. So the other 2, you're talking to yourself. This fascinates me. To be honest, this completely fascinates me because it's something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but like I talk to myself enough. I don't feel like I need to do it on camera. But I don't know, maybe could happen. So what is it like to like commit now? How long are these episodes? Are they 45 minutes? Are they an hour? Are they 20 minutes? Like, because talking to yourself for an hour, the last time I did that, I got a hug me jacket.
Oh my. Oh man, no comment, man. That's intense. No, on a serious note, I mean, there's 2 episodes, right? Well, there's 4, but the 2 episodes where I'm supposedly talking to myself, the first one is just an intro. It's like I think it's a 3-minute episode just discussing what the show is going to be about, who I am, my background experience, what got me started in the entrepreneurship and podcasting space. And then the recent episode 4 about rejection, it's just an episode where I discuss how people should look at rejection as a positive thing instead of a negative thing. A lot of people, they think rejection is bad, like the opportunity is, they miss their opportunity. But I kind of just talk about people, successful people, and how through some of my life experiences, I learned that rejection has helped catapult me into other areas of space where I could grow. And as for the other 2 episodes, I interviewed two college friends, Anna Delusha and my friend Rock Charles, and they're just students that I know who are like really cool. They're 30-minute episodes, max, and they just talk about what they've gone through in life. Anna grew up in North Haven. She just graduated college from Albertus Magnus. Same thing with Rock. Rock just graduated from Albertus Magnus College. He's Haitian, and he talked about that experience. So I think it was just a good way for me to highlight some really unique people who felt comfortable and confident enough to share their story with me, but they also believed in my vision of podcasting, and I was happy to document their stories firsthand.
Well, no, I also love the fact that the 4th episode is about rejection, and you're doing it by yourself, because I've been totally open. And my guest here today rejected me, so that's why we're here to talk about this episode about the goodness of rejection, because you guys are about to get a rocking show of just me because I was rejected. But that's me being a complete and total goofball. But I love that you're painting these pictures and you're telling these stories, because it's so super important. When we truly realize that all that actually is different from each person, it's just our story and our point of view. And when we can start to understand other people's stories and start to see how they came through, or see like their original point of hurt or the generational trauma that has influenced, their POV, then we can really bring to light and sit down at that table and have uncomfortable conversations. We're big fans of uncomfortable conversations here because they can't kick us off there. But now as you're navigating through and as you're continuing to grow and obviously much like this show, it did take like 3 years. You're gonna blow through your friends your friends list of people you can have on the show.
Sure.
What are you looking to branch out? Are you looking to find a little bit more of like a counterpoint to it as well? Will you be having some people that you actively disagree with, and kind of engage that different part of your brain and that different part of the attention of the audience? Or is it still going to be like that super like woo, woo, up to everybody type of thing? Either way is good, but I just wanted to know how crazy we're going to get.
Well, as of right now, definitely the people that I agree with, of course, but I'm not opposed to, a difference of opinions, I'm not gonna lie. There's been people who've asked me, that are like close to me that were like, hey, I want to come on. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Because with all due respect, I love you. Like, we're cool, but you're gonna get me kicked off the air. And that's the last thing I need starting out. So, I mean, you do have to like set certain boundaries with certain people, like it's nothing personal. It's just that I'm building something here. And
right.
As someone who's just starting out, being a Black man starting out, your word is everything, your reputation is everything. And the last thing I want to do is have someone on who I adore as a person, but I know they have a loose lip, that could say something that could, come back on me years later or in that current moment. So, it's all about, making sure that I have a good judge of character with the company that I keep. Of course, if I meet someone, like there's a few people that I met the other day who I was like, wow, they'd be great guests, but I don't know them yet. So I definitely want to sit down and talk to them, see, where's that head at? What's their mindset at? So I can see if there's someone that I could definitely bring on in the future. But, I'm definitely not opposed to a difference of opinions. I just want to be respectful as always. As long as we're respectful, as long as nothing controversial to the point that I get canceled is said, I'm all about the conversation, and that's why I started it.
Well, and again, this is where I'm going to just push a little bit here. You have a podcast. It's on these different platforms. Right now, you're at the point. Are you running any type of sponsorship or anything, or are you going out of pocket right now? We're just going to be real with the audience at home.
Oh no, everything's like out of pocket. I haven't got paid off anything.
Okay, so here's the thing, and this is the challenge that I'm going to put forth for you. No one can cancel you. Understand, you run every aspect of that. You are the producer, you are the director, you are the talent, you run every aspect. So if you want to, I'm not saying do it because it can get weird. You can push the envelope as far as you want to push it in any type of direction because you don't have an FCC. You don't have, the head of Spotify is not going to come down and be like, yo, and if they do, then you've made enough of a wave that you're actually making a difference. So go out and push as far as humanly possible. You had a whole show about, the goodness of rejection, having those people that are having controversy because they don't like what you're saying. Look, there's a whole bunch of people that listen to this show that don't necessarily agree with everything I say, but they continue to listen because it's interesting, and I'm fine with it. Because like, again, if you don't like what I have to say, it's cool. Send a message to Preston because I don't care, And that's just the way that you rock and roll with it. And the fact that you have every aspect of control on that, you have no God or master here. Okay. And this is your vision, and you're being so detailed with the people that you're putting on there, and so that they align with this different type of aspect there. But you're also still looking at it as Big Brother is going to tell you no. And as per, the whole aspect of cancel culture, if art is good and continues to push through those aspects, cancel culture doesn't exist. I've stated it on the radio 1.5 million times. If cancel culture was real, 2 years ago, Louis C.K. and Marilyn Manson would not have won Grammys, period. Your art has to continue to push. It has to continue to be good. Don't sit back on your laurels. Make sure you're going about it with an open heart and an open mind and putting good art out there. So again, You have no God or master. Take control of your destiny and rock and roll with it. But that's just me. I'm gonna get off my soapbox right now.
That was much needed. No, I think you know what I'm glad you said that. Because there's topics I'm just like, should I talk about that now? Should I just ease my way into it? And that's given me a lot of thoughts. So I definitely have to go right back to the drawing board after and see what's next, because the main
I'm
reason
messing
why
up for everybody. Just
no,
me
but
messing up things again.
Well, I'm not going to
no,
mess this up. WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime and his nice mug. EZ Bluez is in the building. Kobéy is with us again on Behind the Brand. Kobéy, besides the podcast, what other stuff are you getting into? Because you're a man of many talents.
Oh wow, thank you. Well, coming
You're
from you,
welcome.
that means a lot.
Thanks so
No,
much.
no, right now, it's really just making bracelets right now. I think
Mhm.
I showed you some of the bracelets before. I
Yes,
started
yes, I
making
remember
some.
last episode.
Yeah, I started making like better ones. So, we got like tiger eye bracelets, things of that nature, stones, higher quality with charms. So I definitely pivoted after talking to a few people. They told me what I should do, the direction I should go with the bracelets. I've just been doing that. Just got my new website updated. So
Okay.
the merchandise is there, the bracelets are there, still doing the meditation, pushing that a little bit less now because I just really love podcasting and making bracelets. But the meditation instructor is still there.
Okay.
I've been volunteering a lot through the Phoenix. It's a national sober active community of people who are in recovery. So as an ally, I've just been going there supporting some of the people who are hosting events. I've also been, I think I hosted a few. So I hosted a few events leading meditations throughout the state. So it's just been cool just getting involved. I'm not really one to just sit down, but I've just been staying busy, man, just trying to utilize my creativity, my skill set, just for the greater good. So that's really what I've been up to.
Tell me about the Phoenix.
Oh
This
no,
is new to me.
oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he told me about them, and he said, "Hey, I think this would be a great way for you to, practice meditation." And he's a volunteer, so I signed up to be a volunteer, and they just do different activities, throughout the state. It's a nationwide thing, but they're trying to build more of a Connecticut branch here, and they do a good job of just hosting events, whether it be rock
Mhm.
climbing, boxing,
Wow.
karaoke, yoga,
Okay.
meditation. What else do they do? Like kickball, basketball, doing
Oh my
basketball
God.
sometime this week. Yeah. Where they just bring people together, whether you're in recovery or not, just a way to just connect with people, to help those who are in recovery, because it's really hard. It's tough for people who are in that space. And the one thing that they don't need to do is relapse. They need to have a community of people who are going to hold them accountable, but also, tell them that, hey, it's okay. I'm here for you. I support you. And the team of like there's this lady named Lee. She's been really good. Like she's the one who's in charge of Connecticut. So she's been great of bringing on people who are amazing. So, credit to them and what they believe in. I think I joined sometime in January just as a volunteer, and I've been having fun connecting with these people, and some of the stories that they tell me is very, very inspirational. And any way I can help support as an ally, I definitely try to make sure that I can volunteer and attend these events.
That's awesome.
Thank you, man.
That is awesome. I did not know. I had no idea this place was even here. What about you, man? Easy.
Me? Oh no, I did, but I knew for the other side of it. It was
So
something my brother
I've
used
been
to
under
do.
the rock this entire time.
Oh well, no, yeah, no. Okay, first and foremost,
Yeah,
people's experiences are people's experiences and people's experiences. Period.
that's true.
You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? This is not a ladder. This is just what it is. So you all know, and the listeners know, and people who've been following me on social media know. Unfortunately, last month we lost my little brother. My little brother, someone who was actively in recovery, pushing very hard to get his life back. But unfortunately, you can only do so much damage to yourself when you don't care about yourself, when you don't love yourself, and that's really the roots of addiction. It comes from the place of not loving yourself, not being able to value yourself as that person. You can value other people, as we've talked about it before on the show, and I've talked about it all the time. My mom got clean and sober because she had kids. And the minute she felt the kids were old enough to take care of themselves. She no longer cared about herself.
Mm-hmm.
That is the root. If you do not attack it at the root issue, that original point of hurt, as I like to talk about, then you can't really get that full healing to move forward. So having events like this where you can go, like I remember my brother's conversation the first time he played basketball sober, and how it was back to when he was playing at 6 years old, on the corner with me and my friends.
Wow.
Back when he initially fell in love with the game, back when he started running stats for Hubert Davis. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. You know what I mean? So, when you can have those experiences with other people, and also, being around, and it helps to build community when you go through situations that only y'all went through. So that rock climbing, only that group of people had that rock climbing experience together. So that's something that bonds them forever and moving forward. It's the same reason why, like, I still talk to some people I went to basic training with, because only us had that experience. That's something we all lived through together that bonded us forever. It's that same aspect. And when you can do it with a clean and sober aspect and a healthy community aspect of it, you can build yourself and learn to love yourself more. When you're around more people that love themselves and that can give you unconditional love, it's something I talk about all the time. It's something that, is supposed to be a Christ-like love because it's unconditional. But the first time I saw it was watching Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. And I watched 5 people treat another person with unconditional love for 2 weeks, and I watched their life change. So how can a community that is looked down upon live in the pure Christ love? See what I'm saying? There's a lot of conflictions here in which you see things, but that's what important conversations and stuff to have through. Now, as you are continuing to move and you're doing these meditations and you're doing all of this, how much of that are you going to bring into this podcast? Or are you going to try to be Batman and Bruce Wayne?
Oh, well, before I answer that, first I just want to say condolences to you and your family. I had no idea, so I want to just pay my respect to you live on air. So
I
can
appreciate
only
that.
imagine.
And I didn't say that for it. I was just, helping tell the story.
No, it's all good, man.
Right,
just anything I can do, just let me know, because that's tough. I respect you all, and I'm going to make sure I pay my respects.
Appreciate it.
But honestly, I think I just want to be as holistic as possible. I don't want anyone to listen to the podcast and think that I'm playing a role. Like, there's different layers to Kobéy. There's going to be some episodes where I'm really goofy. There's going to be some episodes where I might not say as much. There might be some episodes where I have to be very serious. So I want to show like the different layers of me. It's not like a Bruce Wayne Batman type thing. No, I think everyone has different layers of personality, and I just want to be my true authentic self. And I think, I won't say it gets tricky, but I have so many ideas of things that I want to do. Like, who knows, maybe one day I do lead a guided, meditation on the episode. Maybe one day I just do affirmations that I say. I definitely want to, because I don't want to just limit it to like interviews or talking about my experience. I want to bring different aspects to it, because saying affirmations is something that I do every day. Talking to certain people is something that I do every day. I have different friend groups. So I want them to say, okay, you're talking to someone who works in student affairs. Like, I interview one of my friends who works at University of New Haven, Jason Howe, who works in student affairs. His episode is going to be coming soon. So that's a different side of me that people don't know. And then I have my friend Lucia, whose episode is coming up. She's the one who works in Waterbury Public Schools, who's acting, who's an actress who does plays. And then I interviewed someone a few weeks ago, and their episode's coming out as well soon, named Ashley Fawn, who's the founder of We Are One Inc., which is an anti-human trafficking nonprofit. And that's someone that I met literally a month ago. Like, I had no idea who she was.
Wow.
So I want there to be, and we just connected right there to the point where I said, hey, I have this podcast. I think you'd be great if you're interested. And 2 weeks later, we were interviewing. I was interviewing her. So it's things like that, like, you never know what you're going to get. I just want to make sure that people are getting a consistent version of me, which is my true authentic self. Like, there's no way to describe Kobéy, but I want people to see that, wow, like, this guy he might not have knowledge on topics, but he's open to the discussion. Like human trafficking, I didn't really know what human trafficking was until Ashley came on and broke it down, how someone could spot it. And I think once that interview releases, people are going to say, wow, it's right in front of me. And who knows? And I might be missing it all the time. So I want to make sure that I'm bringing different levels of awareness to certain topics, such as human trafficking or mental health or how to interact with students who are coming into college. So you never know. I just want to be my true authentic self and bring people who I think are
And that's and that's incredible because I made the reference to it in your intro, about Kobéy beef, but Kobéy the entire cow, and some people just want to look at just a particular cut as per what they like, and you're giving that aspect of this is 100% who I am throughout the whole thing. If you like a little bit of this more, then you're gonna like this aspect. If you like a little bit of this more, then you're gonna like this aspect. But at the end of the day, you're still loving the whole cow, and that's I think what we've started to get away from, because we do start to think about what's going to get me canceled, or what's going to what can I or can I not say, what should I say. We get so lost in that we forget who we are. And I just want to applaud you and give you your flowers for 100% embracing that. Also, if you have a pen, or you can go back and watch this episode 1.5 million times, this is where I get uncontrollably pitch heavy here. I got an idea for you. Yeah. Okay. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna do an episode of guided meditation, right? And you're gonna challenge your listeners to do it for 7 days, and to interact with you on how they feel and how they change. And then 2 weeks later, you'll release that episode, and then you're gonna challenge people to do it for 30 days. And if they can do it for 30 days, you'll have them on your show to talk about the experience of doing this guided meditation. Your guided meditation from listening to your episode for 30 days and how they are different from that point on. And this way you're making it you're literally making it holistic. As per, people think holistic, they think, oh my gosh, it's Omi, or like, it smells like sage. No, it's not patchouli dipped. Holistic means the entirety. Okay. It's the mind, the body, and the soul. And that's what you're representing. It's not, you're having the meta life as per the podcast life that is now interacting into regular life that now you're bringing back into the podcasting world. You're making it holistic. So yeah, feel free to use that. High five.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Listen, man, I wrote that down. I got the pen right here. I'm always ready.
Word. It happens a lot of the times. A lot of people are like, yo, I had to listen to that back like 8 times because you kind of sort of made sense and then you didn't. And that's life.
How was the Yale Innovation Summit?
Oh man, my goodness. I'm speechless, man.
A lot of names were there. I heard it was too many names to count were over there.
Oh, absolutely. It was unique. You really start to realize that there are some people who are just way too smart for their own good. Yeah, seriously, man. Like there was one panel I went on where they were talking about artificial intelligence, and I'm looking at the people I was on the row with, and we were like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
But it was an honor to be invited. It was an honor to go. I saw a lot of people there that I knew, that I met within the past year, that are doing great things. That have their own businesses. People who are involved in the community, getting connected within the biotech space, the science space, the art space. And seeing people of color, like seeing Black people there, that was inspiring as well, because there's always that stereotype within the community that, that we don't belong in these rooms, and to see that there were people who look just like me in these rooms, and they were like, I see you, like you're doing this. And then like to see some people wear my bracelets that I sold to like months ago, they're like, yeah, I still wear it. Like, that's a reminder. And I'm like, wow, it's a blessing to see. Yale is definitely a different world. I look forward to the next one, because you just got connected and tapped into so many resources. I mean, it's unfortunate that there's this negative stigma around Connecticut and creativity, that people in Connecticut aren't talented. But then we have the Yale Innovation Summit, and there's people from the area, from New Haven, from Hartford, from wherever, all these major cities, Bridgeport, wherever, that are there connecting together and collaborating within entrepreneurship, that whole ecosystem of innovation. And the resources are here. So people don't really have to go to a Silicon Valley or a Boston or Maine or, or New York. Like we have enough talent here if we just stuck together. So that's really what I learned from that. And it was amazing because, I got rejected from Yale for school. So the fact that I was invited to this, I said, man, I made it.
Yeah. No, that's one of the key things, and I love how you highlighted that so many people look down upon Connecticut because and especially in the art aspect of it. A couple of years ago, you had Diddy saying no, ain't nobody good coming out of Connecticut.
Yeah.
But when you continue to push out that good art, we have our good friend, Chesky Ramos, whose new project just did an arena show with an arena show. I forgot the name of the band they did it with. My bad. With that was packed out in Los Angeles. Just came back from on tour with no effects.
Wow.
Have the first verse from DOC in 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? And that
Classic.
dude is from Connecticut so much so that you can look at every single other one of his records and it mentions Elm City. When he does the track with Wouter, he talks about learning how to cook stuff we can't talk about on air on a Fairhaven stove.
Wow.
So there are the stories that are out there, and everyone knows I totally love and respect Chesky beyond repair, and I'm going to sing and trumpet his praises as much as I can. But I love the fact that there are aspects that people completely overlook, these incredible other aspects of it. How we are doing with the sciences. My kids have been able to do a bunch of Yale stuff. With the sciences. One of my guys just did a robotics program. Built a robot, and then his team won. A robotics competition. 13. Yeah, 13. No cost to us. There was another Yale program that we have a 3D printer in our house. These opportunities are out here. You need, cool. Yeah, he built this 3D printer himself.
That's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And Yale paid for it. And for those at home, that's not something you can get from Amazon for $19.99. These are really big machines and big units that are there. But you've got to go out there and you've got to seize these opportunities. And they're there. And you also, again, have to make yourself the most marketable of it all. Mm-hmm. My kids from Jump have always had, been high honor roll kids because that's just the way that we go. This is what it needs to be. We're gonna get you all the services you need so you be the best human being out there. But they're not discipline issues. They're not any type of aspect because they know there's other cool things they can do.
Yeah.
We forget as parents to tell them the other consequences, the good consequences.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you get to go and hang out with all these cool people because we didn't have to spend 35 minutes arguing about what you were going to wear today. We were able to go and do that in those different aspects. You need to celebrate those moments. We need to highlight that good. We're so focused on highlighting the bad because it's easier to align under something negative than under something positive. But when you align under something positive, that's a much stronger alliance, and it's a much better aspect. And it's the negativity. I mean, P and I talk about it all the time, cutting out the toxicity. And any type of relationship can be a toxic relationship. You can have a super positive toxic relationship, but that person's just too positive all the time, and it just chokes the life out of you. So, rock and roll where you need to be. But again, the show is about you, Kobéy. I just want to make sure we're going back to these points that you can highlight, your awesomeness, because I really want our audience to truly invest in your vision and how you're going about things. What is the one topic you need to stay away from?
Oh man.
I got you.
Yeah. Gosh, man. The topic I need to stay away from. Ooh. Honestly, I think the gender topic. It's just very confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I just don't know. The terminology is I'm very unfamiliar with the terminology. So right. I mean, if someone were to break it down to me exactly, I'm definitely open. But for me to go out there and talk about it on my own, no way. No way.
Right there, that is the sign of of amazingness and how incredible of a human being you are. You are totally willing to sit down and have the conversation. You just know for that conversation, your mouth needs to stay shut more than it stays open.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is huge. Go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say, I think it's just the education part of it. You know, like I know there are people who have more experience in that, people who are in that world that work with it. And that's like me, that's like someone coming to me asking for advice on, legal. I'm not a lawyer. So I wouldn't feel comfortable saying, hey, let me help you with this trademark, knowing I'm not a lawyer. I never went to law school, things like that. So, but I'm definitely open to learning. I mean, I'm a long life nerd. So I won't bring it up myself.
And if you
Someone
do need
like,
any trademark help, it's $79.95. You cut that check directly to Prestige, and we'll help you get a trademark. It'll take 32 to 75 years, and 97% of it will be in Prestige's name. So
on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made EZ Bluez is in the building. Kobéy, who chose you to speak for the 2003 seniors class of the Academy of International Studies?
2023.
2023. My apologies.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. Who chose me was this. There's actually this
he
lady.
Was 4. He was 4 in 2003. Just so everyone knows.
Four.
Yeah, 4 or 5, right? Yeah, 4 or 5.
That's how intelligent he is. He's getting
for real.
picked
For
at
real.
4 years old.
You heard of young Sheldon? Well, this is
Be
Dope
at the,
Kobéy.
yo, bro, that's how
he
the
gave
genius and amazing stuff he is. 4 years old, he got chose to spoke to a class. Now he's at Yale this year. Now he's at it again. But
Crazy,
please tell
man.
me.
All right,
Crazy.
make it happen.
No, there was this lady named Miss Gibson who works there. I don't remember her. I don't think she was there when I graduated. So I graduated from the school in 2016. And I've just been speaking back at the school recently because I went to school there, and it's all about making sure that students that were once in your position see you. And
Right.
I spoke at the class of 2021's graduation once I graduated college. And then I just did a few volunteer opportunities at the school. So they reached out and said, hey, you're one of the few alumni that's been coming back. Would you like to come back and speak to them about, what's next after college? And I said, absolutely. And it was just a blessing to be back at, at the place where I was once in their position. I didn't know what was next for me. And the fact that they're looking at me as someone who's early on in their career that somewhat made it, it was an honor just to give that information back and inspire the next generation. So that they reached Miss Gibson reached out to me and said, hey, we respect you. There's always positive things about you here. Would you come back? And I said, absolutely. It was a no-brainer.
That's all. That's all. That has to have a sense of fulfillment, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the crazy part about this too, right, was that I didn't know this until like months ago. So I went back months ago for career day, right? And mind you, I'm the youngest one there. Everyone else who's on there for career day, they're like parents of the students in 6th grade. So I was the one left out, and everyone's asking me who's my kid, right? Have no kids, right? But the part that was crazy was in the 6th grade pod, or I think the 6th grade era, right? Area. There was a picture of me in 11th grade when I was in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, oh my God, these kids see me every single day. Like I don't remember who the student was when I was there in that photo. Because there was a photo there when I was a student, when I started in 6th grade. But the fact that the next generation sees me every single day, and the students were like, that's the guy in the picture. Oh my goodness, he's here now. Like it was wild, because maybe seeing me in person is what they needed to get through the year. Or maybe they just needed that inspiration. And I never know, because I haven't been back to the school since I graduated. So the fact that they had that picture, and there are people who were like, oh my gosh, he's here. I can talk to him. Let's ask him for some advice. It was definitely an honor. And that's not realized. It was bigger than me. It's all about inspiring people who might not have the opportunity, that you've given the opportunity with your presence. And I was once their age looking for that. And the fact that I'm recycling it back is an honor.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. Easy. How you feel about that, man?
It's incredible, because it's so true, and it's something that we completely lose sight of. We've talked about it before. We look at a lot of things as the event, and I look at the event as when you drop the pebble into the water, and we're only looking at the initial splash, like, oh, you made this sling or splash. But if you start to really look at the ripples that come from that, that is the longer term aspect of it. You didn't know when you were in 11th grade going to South Africa, you stopped to have this one picture. You didn't know that picture was going to be anything other than maybe something that was thrown out. And the 11th grade was 2016. So it was still kind of the digital aspect of it, but it was still a little bit of a process to take it from the digital to the processing thing. It wasn't like, you could directly edit at that point in time, like you can now, and just have the best image ever. So there was a lot more work that went involved in it. So you were at that point, one image of say 100 on a roll of film.
Yeah.
So, and now that is now an effect that does have a ripple effect, that there is the possibility. We're not saying that it is. Nowhere are we saying that, people walk in every day and be like, bow down to Kobéy. We don't say that here.
Yeah.
And if that's the way you're taking this, then you're not really actually paying attention to the conversation.
And please don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But what we're saying is, when you have that dark moment, when it is all a little bit too tough, it's really easy to, especially as children, to think of that Superman or that Batman and to hold that power from a graphic novel or a comic book or a movie that they saw. And those that can do it in an incredible way, especially like with the Percy Jackson book series, where they take a negative and spin it into a positive, and that becomes a superpower. And you look at that at all the different comics as well. Reed Richards stretched himself too thin, became, but I'm good. Those are the make-believe aspects. But when you can meet somebody in real life, someone that went through that situation, someone that not only went through that situation, had a cool enough time to go to South Africa and pose for this dope picture, now it's a real connection. Now it comes from something from a page to a possibility. And feel free to take that as well. Make that a podcast episode page to possibility. There you go. Write that one down. I'm just saying, we're here. These tips are free 99. It's fine. But that's the reality of it. And I love that it has that type of effect. And I love that you can appreciate that. Because there's a whole bunch of people that can't see past their own nose right now.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to, and it stinks. And I'm hoping that everyone can learn to love themselves just enough to care a little bit more about thy neighbor. But that's just me. What do I know? I'm a weird bearded dude with tattoos.
Kobéy, summertime's coming up. What events you got planned? Because I know you're doing a lot.
Yeah, so I know definitely this weekend, this Saturday, I'll be at Concorp for the Juneteenth celebration, for the early Juneteenth celebration, and Concorp is going to be celebrating their 5 years as an organization. So it'll be there from 12 to 4. I'll be one of the vendors there, so you can definitely stop by and see me there. I'll be doing some other vendor events within like the Manchester area. I'm blanking on the dates right now because I haven't seen the schedule, but I'll definitely be out in that area. And then I'll be at Black Wall Street, New Haven again. I know they confirmed the date. Again, I feel bad. I'm blanking on the dates right now, but I definitely will be there. I know they're going to have it I think near Temple Street again. So it'll just be a good way to connect with me and see what's going on, see how I've grown from, just doing shirts to now higher quality bracelets. But no, outside of that, man, I'll just be podcasting, interviewing some guests. Hopefully I can get you both on very soon.
Of course.
And just, volunteering as well. And volunteering, just keeping the Phoenix mission going.
And here's the most incredible thing, because you're blanking right now. If they want to know what's going on, they can tune into that podcast. And you're going to have the dates at the end of every podcast of like what you've got coming up next. And you just, change that out. That's in your end credits. It's your end credit scene. You'll have all your own Marvel thing going on. It'll be beautiful. But that's, and how can they find that?
Oh, good question. That it should be on my social media, right?
Yeah, or they could like type it in, like they can go to Spotify and type in the name of the show. You know what I mean?
True.
Or Apple Podcasts and like look up name of show here.
Yeah.
And this is where you give a good pitch about why they should do that.
Absolutely.
Trying to feed you here, man.
No, I feel
to feed you.
Listen. I just had to blank. But the reason why
I got you.
the reason why someone should tap into the Chatting with Kobéy podcast is because it's not one of these traditional guys, these podcasts that just bore you to death. No, we have a good range of guests, from different ages, of people who are very unique that are going to teach you something the way that they taught me something. We're also going to go over wellness, mindfulness, working on becoming your best self, entrepreneurship, overcoming your fear, things like that through the pillars of karma, ownership, blessings, entrepreneurship, and Yahweh. I just want people to know that it's not a one-stop shop for one topic. It's a multitude of topics. We're like the Walmart of a podcast, I like to say. No, the Amazon of podcasts.
Ooh.
The Amazon of
All right.
podcasts.
All right. And that is CHATTIN
Yes.
with Kobéy, Kobey.
Yes. Oh, put up
Perfect.
the site too. Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
This is why Harry is on point always. This is why Harry
Mhm.
is definitely on point.
Harry is a beast. Yeah, my website, KobéyEnterprises.com.
There you go.
Yeah, you could play the podcast right there. We got the 4 episodes up. I'll go over each pillar, the new items, just updated the new shop.
Mm-hmm.
Testimonials of people I've, done meditation for.
Oh, nice.
You could book a mindfulness session with me. So,
Ooh. Nice site, by the way.
thank you.
I have another idea for you, sir. A book of mindfulness. Just saying.
Mindfulness book.
Yeah, but you call it a book of mindfulness.
I love this guy. How can you not like this guy, man? I can see why
you can actually have the calendar too. You have the 365 days of mindfulness. This is, see what I'm saying? Like, there's amazing things you can do, and then you could literally just take the stuff that you have in the book and just put it on a calendar. You don't even have to write 2 different things.
Perfect.
Same thing.
See, I love this guy. See, I can see why they call you easy, because these thoughts just come so easy to you, man.
It's smooth.
Yeah,
really is smooth.
He's a real smooth guy.
Yeah, it's it could be what's in my head. It just happened.
Kobéy, last question.
Yeah.
Because time is running thin, unfortunately. And Harry's going to pull the Apollo curtain on all of us.
No
why, in your opinion, does time wait for no one with a man of your stature?
Oh, because you never know. You never know.
Right.
I mean, I think you never know when your life can end. I mean, what really shook me up was, God rest the dead. My godfather passed away in 2021. When I graduated, the fourth day of the new year. Just randomly, it just happened. Then when Kobéy passed away in 2020, you just never know when your time is. And I think if you believe in God or the universe or whoever you believe in, when the universe gives you an idea, gives you a thought, you have to pursue it, because if you don't pursue it, you're going to live a life of regret. So while I'm here, I'm going to try and do as much as I can to make my impact, felt, and change as many lives as I possibly can. And I feel like I've been doing that so far, and I look forward to changing more lives, with my skill set and creativity. So, time waits on no one. There's no better time than the present. You got to be patient sometimes, but as long as you're being active and persistent in that destination of what you want, you might as well just make the most of it, because I don't want to be, on my deathbed at 100 years old saying, man, I should have did that,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Kobéy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been awesome, brother.
Awesome.
Really
I appreciate you all.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, for being on. Thank you for the information. And I gotta get a bracelet.
I got you, brother.
I gotta get a bracelet, brother. I gotta support you.
Thank you.
And I'm happy I'm supporting you now on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone This craft, witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this last.